I see you shiver with anticipation.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Welcome to Tuesday night. Welcome to Home Team Sports. And because nobody else gives a damn or they're busy, one or the other,
I don't care.
I got little Al with me. What's up, Al?
Hi, what's going on? What's up?
I see you in the Around the Turnbuckle set.
Where else am I going to go?
I love it. It's awesome. It's an homage to Around the Turnbuckle. Before we get started, my son, number one, I appreciate you to the max for coming on here last minute so I have somebody to talk to rather than me just talking to myself on this thing.
Of course.
Number one. Number two, I want to commend you on an excellent job, contrary to popular opinion, on being commissioner of our fantasy football league.
Yeah, it was a great practice season. Next year,
I believe you did an excellent job. I think that you were fair. I think that you were just. And I think that a lot of your, decisions were right on. And that's not me being biased because, if I had a problem, I would tell you straight up.
I didn't make decisions. The only thing I had any say in was the draft. So,
Hi, Aunt Cheryl. How are you feeling? I will tell you that in a second. What's up, Big Chris? Welcome aboard. What's up, Big Joe? Welcome aboard. Yes, as many people know who follow me on Facebook, I have been battling COVID for the better part of the past 10 days. My update is I'm upright. I never went to the hospital. I don't know what version of COVID I had. My wife seems to think I had Omicron, but whatever. But I got through, I think, the worst of it. And I am returning to work tomorrow, which is a good thing. So yeah, my only symptom I have left from it is I have a really bad chest cough, and my fever is under control now. So other than that, I'm good to go. Alan, we're COVID warriors because you had it back in November.
I did.
It's no joke, right?
It's a pain, a severe pain to endure.
Yeah, it's fun. It was fun. I see you sporting a Matty Ice there. You look very festive. You look very falcony today.
I never get to wear this jersey because it's 2 sizes too big on me.
So, just in case anybody else joins us in a little bit, I'm going to hold off on talking about the college football championship. That was going to be my lead. I was actually going to talk about the college championship first, which the Georgia Bulldogs won. We will talk about that in a few minutes. I'm hoping somebody else pops on here, namely Cousin Phil, because Cousin Phil is really big into the college.
He's the only one, yeah.
Right, and if Cousin Phil does find it in his heart to join us, or has a chance to join us, or if he can even, I would love to get his thoughts on the college football championship that Georgia won against. And now we're being joined at this time by a very, very, very familiar face. What's up, Adrian?
Ooh, what's going on, buddy?
There he is.
Adrian's
say hi to little Al. Yeah, playing the part of Cousin Phil today will be Adrian.
Al, I just want to say the way Atlanta got their ass beat was just absolutely fantastic. I was watching the game and it was crazy.
I'm still riding the Bulldogs victory right now.
There you
go. Yeah. That was
wow, what a game. Yeah.
I was expecting it to turn into another beating like they took. But
all right,
nope.
So let's talk about that real quick because I know Alan didn't really pay any attention to it. But Georgia well, Alan,
I watched it.
Oh, you watched it. So Georgia won the national championship versus Alabama.
What was the final score?
Correctly picked by Heel Turn Harry. I remember Heel Turn Harry picked the Georgia.
He did say that. He did say that.
He did.
I picked Bama. I know that Cousin Phil and AJ picked Bama too, I believe. I don't know about you, Adrian. Did you have Bama as well?
I said with the way Bama played them last time, it would be hard for Georgia to come back. Like I said, because you and I kind of said I would like Georgia to win,
right?
But I didn't think they were going to,
right?
And they
the
proved
score doesn't reflect how close it was. A close game. Like if you look at the score, you're like, oh wow, Georgia killed. No, Georgia scored their last 2 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Don't
for the most part, it was all defense.
It was, and that was different from the first time from the first game they played because Alabama ran up and down the field, and then you had the receiver go down, and that's tough because I believe he was entering a draft.
Yeah,
so he's done.
I don't know if he's done. He might be done next year, but
yeah.
Alan, what did you think of the game since you watched it?
It was very boring in the beginning. I was quite surprised that the game was so low scoring to start.
Like all field goals, right?
Defensive, yeah. Very defensive game. So then I took a break from me and JJ were doing something else. And then we came back and I'm like, I was flipping out because I'm like, the score was 9-6 like 10 minutes ago. What the hell happened? It turned into a explosive end game that resulted in it was a pretty good game in the end. I really I liked the pick six that iced it.
I like that
too. That was crazy. That pick six. I was
Stetson real emotional afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
He did not want to lose that game no matter what.
No.
He didn't want to put it the way he put it. He didn't want to be the reason why they lost. Like, you know what I mean? So he had a pretty good game. And he was not the reason why they lost. In fact, he was one of the reasons why they won. So congratulations to Georgia. And thus ends the college football talk tonight. Moving forward, I think Georgia's going to be around for a while.
They got a pretty young team.
As a contender as far as, not only the SEC, but also maybe in the Final Four for the next few years, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That being said, congrats to Georgia. Adrian, during the regular season, we picked a total of 72 games.
Yeah.
That's 18 weeks. That's 4 games a week.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So out of 72 games, you, sir, picked 47 of them correctly. Okay. 47 out of 72. That is 70% efficiency. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And you hung there and look, and I remember this. Phil was way ahead of everybody for a while. And you had to creep up and creep up and creep up. And then a couple weeks ago, you overtook him. And then last week, you guys tied up. And then this week, what happened was you both went 2-2.
Yep.
So because of that, you stayed. The tide remained. And here we are.
Yeah. Here we are.
So had you stayed with, because you originally picked the Rams.
Yeah.
And then you switched to the 49ers. And had you kept your original pick, then he would have beat you by 1 game.
Yeah.
In the regular season. So you and Phil tied regular season. And I think we're going to wipe the slate clean and we're going to start over for the playoffs. Everybody's got a 0.
Oh.
Everybody's got a 0. I'll keep that record right there. I won't get rid of it. But what I'm saying is it'll be a tie-breaking factor if we have a tie from the playoffs. So
can I just make a statement here?
You absolutely can. Because you did finish one of the lead dogs, yes.
Yeah. So That's twice. That's twice.
That's twice what?
Last year
Oh.
and this year.
Hey guys, how's it going? Chris, will the Cowboys or Eagles win their playoff games? We're getting to that. We are going to predict all 6 games. Alan, you ready?
Sure.
Let's go.
We are going to predict all 6 NFL wildcard games. Interesting how some of these teams made it in. For example, the Pittsburgh Steelers needing they needed some help.
Yeah.
And they got all the help that they needed. So
they got help from everybody.
Right.
And
so
then
Big Ben
almost didn't get in.
And they almost didn't get in, but they are in. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are in. The Raiders are in with an overtime win over the Chargers. The Chargers are out.
Did you watch that?
Indianapolis Colts are out. I mean, yeah, a lot of things happened, especially in the AFC. Not so much the NFC. That was kind of set. There a couple seeds moved around, but that was kind of more set. So let's get into those games because Chris Vant wants to know how we feel. By the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. Congratulations to Anthony Joseph for winning our fantasy football league.
Yes, congratulations.
No one saw it coming.
Yeah, nobody saw it coming when he started off the season like 10-0 or something like that.
Yeah, everybody saw that coming.
So congratulations, Anthony Joseph. He won our Home Team Sports Fantasy Football League, and we're all going to get together and chip in on a championship belt that he will have in his possession. And then if we dethrone him next year, we'll get that belt. All right. So as you guys know, the Green Bay Packers and the Tennessee Titans are the number 1 seeds. They have buys in the NFC and the AFC. Kudos to Tennessee for hanging in there after losing Derrick Henry and all that stuff. So, and guess what? After the bye, they're getting him back.
They're getting them back.
So it's going to be interesting. So Green Bay gets a bye. Green Bay gets a bye, and the NFC has to go through Green Bay, and Tennessee gets a bye. And you know how that a lot of times how that plays out. A lot of times, but not so much. So let's start with our first game. We're going to go AFC first, and we'll do NFC second. So, Alan, who's going to win? Steelers at the Chiefs.
I don't think the Chiefs are going to make it far in these playoffs, but I do think they make it past this round.
Right. Big Ben looks old, right?
Judged by the fact that the Steelers had to pull like a miracle to sneak their way in here. I mean, if they do make it far, it'll be amazing and quite the story. But I don't see him making it past the Chiefs.
Kudos to Mike Tomlin, right? Fucking guy has never had a losing season as their head coach.
No.
Never.
No.
Even Belichick can't say that.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I agree with you, Alan. I got the Chiefs here. How do you see it play, Adrian?
I see the Chiefs as well because, I mean, look who they beat to get in.
Big Chris Vant. I'm waiting for his. Big Chris Vant. This is the kind of game where he'll pick the Steelers just to stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I mean they've been playing really well, and they've won a lot of come behind last minute games.
Well, here's a little nugget for you. The Chiefs during the regular season lost to some of these playoff teams.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Bills. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Bengals. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Raiders. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't play the Steelers.
Nope, they did not. And this is the playoffs. This is a different animal.
It is. And I think Alan's right. I don't fear the Chiefs like years past.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alan's right. I think they get by this round, but maybe that's it.
Yep.
All right, Chris has got the Chiefs, of course. All right. We all agree. Let's move on. Patriots at Buffalo.
That's going to be interesting.
I'm going to let you lead off, but the temperature at this game, when they start the kickoff, is going to feel like -4.
This is going to be an interesting game because they're 1-1 for the season, right? They're 1-1.
They split, right?
Yeah, they split the season, and they're playing at home in Buffalo, and you got to look at that last game. Mac Jones had that was rough.
He's had a few rough in a row.
Yeah, against the Dolphins. And the Dolphins don't have a horrible defense, but everybody kind of picked on the Dolphins. They did have that little stretch where they won like 7 or 8 in a row. So they're at home. Buffalo's they're not a bad playoff team, and neither the Patriots, but I think the Bills kind of take this one.
Right. I think that. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, I think it's Bills. The Patriots. I agree. Well, yeah, I would just be making the same points Adrian made. Mac Jones has a big late.
This is Mac Jones's first playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, kudos for making it as a rookie.
And a lot of times, that spotlight either makes a guy shine or it makes a guy fold.
Rarely shine.
Josh Allen was in this already. He knows about this already. So if I have to choose between Josh Allen and Mac Jones, I'm taking Josh Allen.
Of course.
So that's that game. Raiders at the Bengals, I think, is the hardest one to pick of all 3 AFC games. And I'll tell you why. Because you want to jump on Cincy the way they're playing. You want to jump on Mixon and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow the way he's playing and all this stuff. But here's the thing. The Cincinnati Bengals have not won a playoff game since 1990. Okay? 1990. That was the year my wife was born. Just let that circulate in your head. Okay? Number 1. Number 2. The Raiders have not won a playoff game since 2002. So what I'm trying to say is that either one of these teams is going to break a hell of a long streak of playoff wins. So can Joe Burrow, again, in the playoff spotlight, be the Joe Burrow we've seen all year? Can that defense, I'll give the Bengals defense over the Raiders defense. But I tell you what, though, this is also Derek Carr's first playoff game as long as he's been playing. So, I mean, there's a lot of intangibles here. Coaching, I don't want to say these teams are even. I think the Bengals are better. They have a lot more talent. But if I'm putting money on it, if you put a gun to my head and say, put money on this game, I'm saying Cincinnati. What do you think, Alan?
I'm not as high on the Raiders as everybody else might be. I think it's Cincinnati.
Raiders, says Chris Van.
Chris Van just likes to.
I knew he would take one of the away teams.
I still fully believe that it is Cincinnati.
Okay, so we all picked the home teams. Adrian, Raiders and Bengals.
Who has a better line? Offensive line.
O-line?
Cincinnati. Who has a better O-line? Cincinnati. Or the Chargers?
Cincinnati.
Then it's going to be a rough outing for the Raiders because, Max Crosby, he ran that game and Chargers. They made no adjustments to try to fix the problem that he was having because he was killing Slater. He was killing Slater the entire game. And there was no adjustments. There was none. Now, that being said, the Chargers still could have won that game, had, Mike Williams caught that ball in the end zone that he bobbled. So
correct. That's the thing that's bugging me. I think the Raiders are lucky to be there. And I think that they, I think that the Chargers were the better team this season.
Mm-hmm.
But, tell that to some of the games that they let slip out of their fingers earlier in the season which put them in this position.
That was by far the best game of the year. That
it was
game,
fun. It was so much
fun.
That
was the best game of the year.
It was so much.
Yeah.
Dude, entertaining. It had everything. It had turnovers. It had sacks. It had long touchdowns. It had awesome plays, one-handed catches, crazy. It had everything.
900 fourth down conversions.
Right. It was great. I watched every minute. That's the one thing I'll give COVID its credit. I didn't have to work the next day, so I watched every minute of that game.
Yeah. I got to give the Bengals. I think the Bengals edged this one, not by much, but I think they edged this one.
All right, Bengals. Let's go to the NFC. Dun, dun. The Eagles.
I hope Harry's watching.
Right. The Eagles and the Buccaneers. On paper, you'd say Tampa Bay, no problem. But, I mean, there's that little it factor where Tom Brady might have a little problem in his head with NFC East people. But I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm proud as an Eagles fan that they were predicted to have 6 wins and they had 9. Be it against an inferior schedule, be it against whatever it was. I mean, if they would have had 4 wins or 5 wins against this same schedule, you would say they were one of the bottom feeders of the league.
I want you to do me a favor.
I'm not done. But I want to say that I'm proud of Nick Sirianni being able to adjust. I'm not 1,000% sold on him as their coach for the future, but what I'm saying is that he has made strides in the right direction from the early part of the season. They were 3-5, and then he flipped the switch where they became the best rushing attack in the NFL, averaging over 200 yards per game. I don't care who they're playing. That's impressive. All right. That plus the fact that everybody's coming back healthy. They had a lot of people on the COVID list last week. Everybody's going to look at that Cowboys game like, oh, well, if the Eagles play like that, they played second and third string people. They didn't even they barely showed up at that game. Nobody started in the second. Not one member of the secondary started. All right. So Dak was able to just throw it to whoever he wanted to. I could have quarterbacked that game.
Yeah.
So my point is that I think it's going to be closer than people think. They played each other in week 2 or week 3, one or the other. And it was 28-22 Buccaneers. But that was before Sirianni was pass and trying to have Jalen Hurts outduel Tom Brady. That's not going to happen. If he would have played ball control like they do nowadays, it might have been a closer game and they might have beaten the Bucs. I don't know.
Possibly.
So my point is, but all that being said, that all sounds like cream cheese. All that being said, I still am taking Tampa Bay because contrary to Cousin Phil, because Cousin Phil's picked the Eagles, by the way.
Figured.
He did.
I did because, if you look at the way Jalen Hurts has been kind of doing this thing, man, it's kind of amazing.
I think the game's going to be closer than people think, though.
Oh, definitely.
But I think that Tom Brady pulls it out at home by 3 or 4. Alan, how do you feel about this game?
As much as I really, really, really want the Eagles to win this game, I think Tampa is in a similar situation in my eyes to the Chiefs. I think they're going to beat the Eagles, but not make it much further than that. Because just Tampa's not really.
I disagree with that. Chris Vance says game is on Hurts. Eagles won't be able to run the ball. The number one rushing defense in the league this year was the New Orleans Saints, and they put 200 yards rushing on them. 200 yards. So I don't care who Tampa Bay is. I think that they will run. They will be able to run. So this game's not on Jalen Hurts. This game is on coaching, which I would take Arians over Sirianni. And this game is on Tom Brady, which obviously he's been here and done this how many freaking times?
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, I would love that you win this game. It would be absolutely hilarious. I would love it, but I don't think the Bucks pass this round, but don't make it much further.
That game's on Saturday, Alan. You know I'm going to be erect that day, right? Oh no, I'm sorry. It's Sunday 1 o'clock.
I was gonna say unless they win, and then you're going to start up the rest of the day.
I don't expect them to win. So if they win, it's great. But
no, if the Eagles.
If they win, Alan, they got to play Green Bay next week.
If the Eagles win that game, you're going to go on a Super Bowl rant.
No, I'm not. I swear to you, I will not. Because if they win, they're the ultimate losers because they have to play against Green Bay next week in Green Bay.
They have Jalen Hurts, not Nick Foles. So
they're not going to beat back-to-back, beat Tom Brady and then Aaron Rodgers.
Why not?
It's not going to happen. All right,
Underdogs.
Adrian, go ahead.
I would like to point out that I had 2 predictions before we started.
Okay.
Of NFC East teams' records.
Okay.
And I was right on both of them.
Which were?
The Eagles and the Cowboys. What did the Eagles finish?
9-8.
Okay, never mind. I was right on one. But I did say they would get to 9 wins. And you were like, no, there's no one. There's no one. I definitely see Tampa coming out on top of this. They're at home. They're a rough crowd. Tom Brady's emotional because of the Antonio Brown stuff, which bless his heart.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that. There's been a lot to made about that, but I think he's got CTE.
Yeah,
and I think
some's not right.
And I think right, and I just think he needs help. And there's been way too many memes about it, and I don't like it at all.
Yeah, something's not right.
All right, but I mean, without Godwin too, they don't have no Godwin.
No Godwin. Yeah, I know Godwin's missing. Godwin's isn't he hurt?
They do get Leonard back. They get Lenny back. So there's that.
And the Eagles aren't that good against the run.
No. We'll see. I'll be pleasantly surprised, but I'm with you guys.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. 49ers at the Cowboys in Jerry World. Here we go, and I'm going to let you lead off because you have been not on the Cowboys bandwagon the entire damn season. They finished 12-4, won the division, but they went 6-0 in the division. But if you take the 6 wins out, they went 6-5 against everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That is very true.
49ers at the Cowboys. 49ers took out the Rams last week, who everybody's high on, right? Remember them? Took out the Rams. Jimmy G was playing hurt. He looked good to me. And the defense played awesome. I watched most of that game too. It was fun. Who do you got? I can't wait. 49ers at Cowboys.
I'm taking the Niners. Believe it or not. Because they beat they've had a harder schedule, and they beat one of the toughest teams in the division, and that is the Rams. They beat them twice, if I'm not mistaken, right? They swept the Rams, yes. Yeah, they swept the Rams. And with that defense and with the way their playing style, they play fast ball. They play fast ball. Dallas has a very young defense, but that secondary is still questionable. So what are you going to do? Are you going to flood the box?
That secondary is questionable. Diggs is questionable.
You got the other side of the ball. You got everything on the other side. Who's giving up the most yards for a cornerback this season? even though he's got the most interceptions.
Cowboys, if everybody is back.
I will be surprised if the Cowboys win. I'll say that. I'll be surprised because this is a big stage. They're in Jerry's world. Yay! When's the last time they won one game? And that was on the road when they went into the playoffs. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So,
Allen, 49ers and Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys win it by a final second field goal.
Interesting.
I just think you were talking about Raiders and Bengals being hard to pick. I think this one is the hardest game to pick because the Niners have been on a hot streak lately. But are one of those radar that we talk about here, but in mainstream media they're not talked about a lot because according to Dad every end. So it's like I think this is a pick. I think this will be a game that's the closest to the bone. I think this is a game that will be close to play and be decided by a last-minute touchdown, field goal, whatever it may be. But I think if I had to pick between the two, I think like my scenario here is like the Niners are by minute and 30 left in the fourth quarter. Cowboys get 40-yard field goal and move on. That's my specific
from an inconsistent kicker.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Offense. I will take the Cowboys. Offense versus their offense. I think the Cowboys' offense has more weapons. I like Dak better than Jimmy G. And I like the weapons on Dallas. I like that wide receiver tandem over the 49er tandem. Defense. It's close. It's close because you still got Michael Parsons. You still got Trevon Diggs. You still got Gregory. You still got, and Lawrence and all these guys. So I think it's close. But the way the 49ers have been playing lately, with purpose, with some kind of crazy purpose. Like Alan said, nobody's talking about them. Everybody's talking about Tampa Bay. Everybody's talking about Green Bay. Everybody's talking about Dallas. Everybody's talking about Tennessee and Kansas City. Nobody's talking about the 49ers. Why? Because they got in as a wild card. The Rams and the Cardinals finished better records than them in that division. 3 teams from the NFC West made the playoffs. 3. And this is the third of those 3. This is the third place team of those 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the 49ers in this game. I think the 49ers are going to be a nightmare for Dak Prescott. I think the 49ers are going to do whatever it takes. And if it comes down to coaching, give me McDermott over McCarthy. That's all I got to say about that, Forrest.
I think it'll be close, definitely. In my opinion, at least.
49ers for me. And the final game is the Cardinals and the Rams. And they're playing this on Monday night. They're playing this on Monday Night Football.
Rematch.
Now, this is round 3. They split in the regular season. Both of the home teams winning. When they were in LA, they won. When the Cardinals were in Arizona, they won. So, is Arizona folding like Arizona always does? Or is Matthew Stafford's interceptions going to catch up to him? He's been turning over the ball a lot lately. He can't do that in the playoffs. And he used to play for a team called Detroit who never made the playoffs, so he never had to worry about this. Guess what? Now he has to worry about it. Okay, now he has to be fucking perfect. He can't do what he's been doing, which is throwing 2 or 3 interceptions a game. You do that against Arizona, they will eat you alive. Everybody wants the Rams because of the way Arizona's been playing lately, because they got beat by they lost the last, 2 of the last 3 games or something like that. And, the Rams just came in and took the West away from them because they were in the lead of the West for most of the season. And, you know, it was close. They were a game or two apart. And then the last 3 weeks, Cardinals have gone down. Rams have gone right on in there. Even though the Rams lost last week, they won a division because of tiebreakers or whatnot. So my point is even though they're both 12-win teams, I don't trust either one of these teams. I don't want these teams not want. That's the wrong choice of words. I don't think either one of these teams are going to be in the Super Bowl. Just not the way that they are right now. I predict that right now. Neither one of these two teams will be in the Super Bowl.
Whoever wins this game, I think, will be in the conference championship.
Yeah, and that's possible. But that's not the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with LA. What say you, Alan?
My Super Bowl prediction for around like mid when we did like a little bit of an early pick. My Super Bowl prediction to be different, I guess. I thought it was going the Cardinals and the Colts.
You believed in the Wentz theory where you put Wentz in that team and they're Super Bowl contender.
He's doing better for them than he did for the Eagles. But the Cardinals, I had a lot of faith in, mainly because they showed a lot of promise in the near the end of the season. Like you said, they have not been great as of late. But also, like you said, the Rams haven't been absolutely stellar recently either. So I think both of these are teams that everyone's had their eyes on and have sort of disappointed most. I'm picking the because I think the Cardinals defense can hold back the Rams off. That they split in the regular season, but as from what I've been seeing recently from both teams, I favor Arizona.
There you go. So you got Arizona.
I do have Arizona.
So I say Rams. He says Cardinals. What say you, Adrian?
I see the Rams coming out on top. This is a bounce back game. They want something. They got to prove something. Matthew Stafford has never played in the playoffs. In his illustrious career, he's always been squeaked out one way or another. No, wait a minute. They did have a playoff game, didn't they, against Dallas?
Who?
When he was in Detroit.
A few years back.
Yeah.
Man, maybe.
So I think the Rams come out on top of this one. They're still missing Hopkins, correct?
Yeah, no D-Hop.
No D-Hop. So you take away his primary weapon against a good team, you got an issue. James Conner's back, but I mean, yay.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I see Los Angeles come out on top. Cardinals got a lot. They're starting to develop a lot of holes. So,
all right, that's it. That's our playoff predictions. Again, if you haven't yet already, go to our YouTube channel, 2M1L Media, and subscribe, and you'll get all our content. You'll get Spitting with Spitter. He's got a very special, by the way, very, very special episode of Spitting with Spitter tomorrow night for all you P-Berg people out there. Robert Fulper will be on Spitting with Spitter tomorrow night Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. So if you got to air some P-Berg grievances, you got some political questions for young Robert there, be his guest. He will be on there. An active member in Phillipsburg Town Council, Robert Fulper. I can't wait for that. It's going to be very provocative. TJ will pull no punches, Adrian. It'll be very interesting to watch that tomorrow night.
Never does.
Spitter at what?
He never does.
Wednesday night at 8. I want to thank everybody for the outpouring I've gotten while I've been sick. A lot of messages in the wrestling community. I appreciate all my brothers who watch all the time. the Chris Vance of the world, and everybody who's reached out to me while I was sick at one time or another. Mark Mest, Rob Noxious, JT Funk, Adrian, of course. Adrian, my friend. Everybody who's reached out to make sure that I'm okay. I want to assure you that I'm back and better than ever. And I will, I came out on the other end of this, and I'm gonna be fine. So I appreciate all the well wishes and the emails and the messages that I've gotten, especially from the wrestling community. It really meant a lot to me personally that everybody reached out and made sure that I was okay. This thing is no joke. I got to tell you that right now. So be safe. Do whatever you got to do. Whether you believe in the vaccine, whether you don't believe in the vaccine, that's up to you. I'm not gonna fight you on that. But what I'm gonna say is just be safe, be smart about things, stay healthy, take your vitamins. I should have listened to Hulk Hogan years ago. Take your vitamins and say your prayer. But anyway, I'm taking vitamins and building my immunity, and I'm going to beat this thing. So thank you very much for everybody that has supported me and Home Team Sports and 2M1L Media in general. And I want to thank Alan for popping on tonight as a last minute thing. I really appreciate it, Al.
Someone has to do that.
Adrian, you're always there for me, brother, and I love you. I'm so glad to have met you and become good friends with you. And I'm always rooting for you, no matter what you do, whether it be wrestling, whether it be comedy, whatever you end up doing. I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure that I'm ringside to check to see what you, because I think you can do anything.
Yeah, I saw him get put through.
You saw him get through. Yeah, that was exciting. That was exciting when he got put through a table, right?
That was, you have no idea how much I was. I'm not going to break kayfabe too much, but you have no idea how excited I was. Like, that was fucking awesome. Just big shout out to Rob Noxious. I know he had he's battling the same thing. He's coming out on the other end of it as well. So I'm glad you guys are okay.
Big shout out to Chris Vance's wife. She did not have, she thought she had it, but she had a version of the flu. So I hope she's feeling better, Chris. Big Chris. Brotherly love right there. Big Nick, I miss you guys down there in Douglasville. Shout out to Douglasville, Big Nick, the Eagles fan, my brother. Mean Mark Mest.
Mark's awesome.
Mean Mark Mest. I can't say enough how great a conversation he and I had a couple of days ago. He reached out to me, found out I had corona, reached out to me and had me in tears that how much he cared and how much he was going through details about what I should be doing to get better quicker. So my heart, Mark Mest, you're my brother and I love you. And thank you so much for that conversation. That was amazing. We will be back, Adrian, next Tuesday for Home Team Sports. Don't miss Spitting with Spitter tomorrow night with Rob Fulper. Don't miss me and the Professor on Sunday for Around the Turnbuckle, back at our normal time slot with a brand new guest from Tennessee, TWA Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have anything else? I did want to mention one more thing before we left. Did you guys happen to catch a certain somebody returned to the NBA for Golden State?
Yeah. Splash Brother number 2, Big Klay Thompson dropped 17. Yeah, I saw it. I seen it.
I gotta admit, I watched the highlights of it, and you guys know I'm not as big in the NBA as you guys, but he looked so excited and happy to be there, and he was like a Christmas tree, like a kid at Christmas, I should say. And
a year and a half.
Unbelievable. Like 900 days plus.
Yeah.
quite the time to come back too, because the Warriors are currently on top. So it's
You think they really needed him? Did they really need him?
I mean,
Wait, he was out for 900 days.
he'll help.
900 calendar days. Yeah,
I mean, he'll help.
almost 3 years.
Mhm.
So, what was I saying? Oh, wasn't Golden State favored to win the NBA title without him?
Yeah.
That's been ridiculous.
Are we just going to crown them now? Like, can we just end the NBA season and give them?
You know what? You never want to crown them early.
Yeah,
because people did that with Brooklyn.
Yeah, as I was saying, we crowned Brooklyn last season. Yeah, we did. We crowned Brooklyn last season.
You didn't, Adrian.
No,
I didn't either.
No, and I'm a Nets fan.
Check out the Flyers game Saturday against the Rangers. You're going to be behind the goal. All right, Big Nick.
Nice.
Big Nick's going to be at the Wachovia Center, Wells Fargo Center. Excuse me.
I've been thoroughly enjoying this NBA season, even though my team is horrible. But
Bulls look tough. Chris Vance says Bulls look tough.
Bulls winning the NBA championship. Bulls. I am a temporary Bulls fan this season. Bulls are going all the way.
Temporary Bulls fan. You like that?
Yes.
He jumps off the Lakers fan because their Lakers are old and they're falling off the planet.
I'm just saying.
I'm surprised he's not rooting for Golden State.
The same point all season that the Bulls last season less than stellar. Bulls this season near the top. Key differences: Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball. Those two key differences joined Chicago, and they're all of a sudden on top. They are. I've been loving watching Chicago. My team is a disappointment. I've just been enjoying watching. I've been watching Chicago games more than I've been watching Los Angeles games because Chicago is fun to watch.
You know why they're playing? Why Lonzo Ball is playing better? Because Lonzo Ball has accepted the fact that he is not the superstar, but a role player, and he is playing his position, and that's it. That's it.
I'll agree to that. That's what he has to do. He is an amazing facilitator, one of the best that you can see. When he was tossing down Zion, I think Lonzo was partially responsible for Zion's hype in the league because they were a dynamic duo when he was in New Orleans.
I'm trying to figure out why Zion ate Zion.
Zion, I called that from day one. By the way, when Zion got drafted, everybody was they were putting him on the face of ads, video games, magazines. The next star of the league. I never bought it. Never bought into Zion, and I'm happy I didn't because, yeah. But the Bulls is phenomenal. They've been all fun to watch. All of the lineup have been a fun team to watch. I think they'll make it fun.
Bulls Warriors goal at the end.
It's possible.
Zion Williams is turning into the Jamarcus Russell of basketball.
Zion Williamson, what a guy.
Zion Russell, I'm gonna call him Matt.
Big Clay is back. We'll see what happens. All right, we're gonna talk next week. We're gonna see if all our predictions were correct or not correct. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight on Home Team Sports, especially Big Chris Fant. Shout out to you, brother. Congratulations once again, Anthony Joseph, for winning the Fantasy Football League. And we're gonna see. And congrats to the commissioner. There's the commissioner right there.
Well, the ESPN Fantasy app, as commissioner, when next season begins, it'll give me the option to just continue the league, which is what I'm going to do, so we don't have to re-invite everybody. Right. And I think I'm going to go. It'll allow me to choose the draft type, and I'm going. I'll have to run it by all you guys first, but I'm thinking of going traditional, where the worst per team gets the draft first.
That's fair. That means Teresa gets pick number 1.
And I'm number 2.
And I'm number 3.
You are. And Sean would be 4, or Adrian would be 4th.
Adrian be 4. Adrian, you get the 4th pick.
Wait a minute. Why do I get the 4th?
Because you play. Yeah.
It's reverse.
Yeah. I was
Love you guys. See you next week.
I placed higher than what my record indicated because I didn't lose in the playoffs.
I was ranked 4th, and I finished 7th.
Any final words, guys? We're getting out of here.
Go Chicago.
The Bears?
I mean, if you want to talk about a team that's good, man, Chicago's been playing phenomenal. Like the way they've been, you got what's that? You got Lonzo Ball who's been playing like, come on.
No, but
like,
One thing I will say is we didn't get into the coaching firings, and the reason is I really wanted Phil and AJ here for that because they're on top of each and every GM and all that. I mean, I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not. I mean, I've been following it. I will say this. Flores from Miami did not deserve to get fired. I will say that.
No.
Everybody else that I've seen that got fired, they deserve to lose their job.
But there's a reason why he got fired. I think they have somebody lined up that they want.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of crap. It's crap. He wanted in the draft, he wanted Justin Herbert, not Tua. And they fought him on that, and look how that worked out. Do you imagine that Dolphins team with Herbert instead?
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
That'd be okay.
All right.
It'd be fantastic.
We'll see everybody next. We'll see everybody next time on Home Team Sports. We'll get more into all the coaching firings and all that stuff next week.
Later.
I see you shiver with anticipation.